Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be going over 7 signs you are under spiritual attack. Now, we're all going through wars. Every single one of us on this planet, we are going through some type of war. Spiritual war, to be exact. Spiritual warfare. Every single time we go outside, we interact with our fellow people, co-workers, friends, strangers on the street. Every time we interact with the outside world, or even if we're inside our house, even in our own household, we're going to be experiencing some type of spiritual warfare. Now, you've heard all these different type of wars: currency wars, gender wars, World War II, the Revolutionary War, all these different wars that we go through on a daily basis. But the ultimate war is the spiritual war. The ultimate war is the own war within thy own mind. So in this video, I'm going to be going over some of the signs that you may be experiencing when you are going through any type of spiritual warfare. Right. So we always have to remember that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, the rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. So if you are in a heated argument or a heated debate, or if you are fighting with somebody, you're going through some type of temptation, whether it be within an addiction or some lustful temptations and things of that nature, we always have to remind ourselves and to realize and understand that we don't battle against flesh and blood. We don't battle against people. We are battling with evil spirits and these dark entities and these demons and things of that nature. Because the ultimate goal of these dark entities, they want to cut our connection with the Most High. They want to cut off our connection with the Creator, because their ultimate goal is to destroy humanity and to lead us and cause chaos and havoc within the world. And they want to keep us as far away from the Creator as possible. All right. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 7 signs that you may be under spiritual attack. All right. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first sign that you are under spiritual attack: increased temptation and luring towards the wrong choices. Now, when we indulge and dwell on things that are out of our control, or if we lure ourselves into things that are not in alignment with our true higher self, then you are under spiritual attack. Now, let's say you have a porn addiction, or you have some sort of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling addiction, weed addiction, and things of that nature. When you are under spiritual attack, you tend to do things and have compulsionary activities. You indulge in compulsionary activities that are not in alignment with who you are. So if you are engaging in certain acts that are not in alignment with your will, with your higher self, and leading you towards darkness and leading you towards the wrong path, and you know that this is something that you shouldn't be doing, this is something that you shouldn't be engaging yourself in, but these dark entities, these demons, these devils, they try their hardest to lure you and to tempt you into doing things that you aren't supposed to be doing. All right. So another sign that you may be under spiritual attack is if you are luring towards the wrong decisions, the wrong actions. If you become more angry all of a sudden, if you're just an angry person, or if you're, spreading negativity, becoming a bad person, just doing the things that aren't in alignment with who you truly are, then that's a sign that you are under spiritual attack. So understand that you need to change yourself from within in order to see changes without. So align yourself, align with your higher self, become more receptive to God's love, establish a more stable relationship with the Most High, Then over time you will see all these addictions, all these things, all these compulsionary activities that you've been involved in within your life will start to dissipate over time. So the second sign that you are under spiritual attack, feelings of overwhelming despair, anxiety, and fear. Now, I used to be the type of person in the past where anxiety would eat me up alive. I used to have a real bad anxiety problem, especially if I go out in public. I would be too scared to even go out in public. I would feel like somebody's out to get me. I would always feel paranoid, whether I'm in school or, just going out in public in general. I just had all this fear and anxiety just bottle up inside of me, and it takes energy. When you are living in fear, when you are always scared, when you have constant thoughts that, negative thoughts that aren't yours, because fear is an illusion. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So when you're living in constant fear and turmoil and things like that, it takes energy. It takes a whole lot of energy. And then you start to feel, weak and, lack of energy throughout the day. All right. So when you are living in constant fear and anxiety and depression and things of that nature, that's another sign that you are under spiritual attack, because God does not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So these dark forces, they're the main ones. They are the main fuel for fear. They are the main fuel for anxiety. They are the main fuel for negative self-talks and negative self-images. All right, so God does not give us the spirit of fear. So fear is an illusion. Fear doesn't exist. All right, and then I used to be the type of person who would think that fear is just a normal part of life. Fear was just normal. Having butterflies, being nervous, it's a part of life. I used to think that way, but I was wrong. Ultimately, I was wrong, and I finally realized that when I came to my true divine self, when I start to understand myself better, start gaining more knowledge and wisdom, and start learning more about who I am and the world around me. All right, so the second sign that you are under spiritual attack is when you start to have overwhelming anxiety and fear, and you just have no confidence in yourself whatsoever. So the third sign that you are under spiritual attack, physical fatigue / lack of motivation. Now, when you are in alignment with your true self, when you are in alignment with your true being, and you understand what your purpose is, and you have this fulfillment and joy and happiness, and you understand that you are a divine being and you are a spiritual being having a human experience, then you start to become more conscious of who you truly are. You start to become more conscious of what you were put on this planet to do. All right, so our ultimate mission as a human race, as a society, our ultimate mission on this earth is to bring heaven to earth. Most of us, we tend to believe, or we try to accomplish, doing the things on this planet so we can get to heaven, doing the necessary things in order to get to heaven. But I believe that our ultimate goal as a human race is to bring heaven onto earth, to bring peace onto earth, to bring the heavens onto earth. So I believe that's the ultimate goal here. Our ultimate mission is to bring heaven on earth. So we need to understand and realize that, we have no fear whatsoever. We are fearless beings. We are fearless souls. We are fearless human beings on this planet. And our ultimate mission is to love one another, to have peace, to spread love throughout the entire world, to be an example of others. We're supposed to be leaders and not followers. God has called us to be leaders and not followers. God has called us to be role models for people, to help people, to serve others, and to not indulge in activities that are not in alignment with our will. All right, so we have to be strong individuals. We need to increase our consciousness. We have to gain knowledge and wisdom. We have to spread love. We have to be love, be an example of love. All right, so the third sign that you are under physical or spiritual attack is when you have no confidence, when you have lack of motivation, and you have no sense of self-awareness, and you have no purpose or drive or mission in your life. So the fourth sign that you are under spiritual attack is wet dreams. Now, if you don't know what wet dreams are, basically a wet dream is when you have sexual intercourse with some sort of demonic entity in your sleep. Now, if you're a male, then this is related to the succubus. And if you're a female, this is related to the incubus. Now, I've realized that I've had, ever since, because I used to be addicted to porn, and I used to be, a compulsive porn watcher. And during those times, I would never have wet dreams. But as soon as I ended my addiction, as soon as I stopped watching porn and, indulging in activities such as watching porn and masturbating and stuff like that, I've noticed I had frequent wet dreams. Have you ever noticed that? If you cut off any type of porn or masturbation, if you ever had a porn or masturbation addiction and you just cut off completely, and then maybe the next night or 2 nights later you having wet dreams all of a sudden. So this is another spiritual attack. When you having wet dreams and you having sexual dreams, having sex with some random female or some random dude in your sleep, that's a sign of spiritual warfare. That's a sign of spiritual attack. All right. So if you've been having frequent wet dreams and having sexual dreams and things of that nature, that's another sign of a spiritual attack. So I was, avoid having any type of sexual thoughts or, watching sexual acts, whether it be on movies or porn or any type of videos, because I believe if you engage and indulge and, watch certain sexual acts, then most likely you're going to have some sort of wet dream prior to that night. All right, so another sign that you are under spiritual attack is when you have frequent wet dreams. So the fifth sign that you are under spiritual attack, no connection or a loss of a connection with the Most High. Now, like I stated in the beginning, these demons, these devils, these dark demonic forces, these dark entities, their main objective and their main goal is to keep humanity away from the Most High, to disconnect ourselves from our higher self, from our true being, and to disconnect us from source. And by doing that, when we have no connection or we lose our connection to the Most High, then that's when we start to become so programmed into this world. That's when we become so indoctrinated in religion. That's when we start to become brainwashed by society, become brainwashed by the world, and we start to lose our identity. We start to lose our consciousness shift. We start to become unaware of who we truly are as human beings. All right. So these demonic forces, they try anything and everything that they can to keep us away from God, whether that be distractions, indulging in our temptations, indulging in our lusts, promoting evil, promoting darkness, being a part of darkness, being a part of the new thing, with, like in hip hop with the demonic music and stuff like that. Just not in alignment with ourselves and, drifting away towards the darkness and, leaving the light. That's a sign of spiritual warfare. That's a sign of spiritual attack. Now, I believe, people tend to think we have so much darkness in the world, and, people lose hope, lose faith, and, whether the world is going to come into a golden age, whether that be if light will ever shine upon the earth. We have to understand that light overshadows darkness. Love always wins. Love always shadows hate. And love eliminates all darkness. All right, let's say you are in a room, a dark room, a completely dark room, and you could do as simple as turn the flashlight on your phone. All right, and that light eliminates and kills all that darkness. So once we start to become light beings, because we are made of light and matter, the human body is made of divine light and matter. And once we start to become more of a light being, these demons can't touch us. These dark entities, they can't get near us. They're allergic to the light. They can't get near the light. if they get near the light, they will dissipate. It will kill them. So they have to go on to somebody else. They have to try to tempt somebody else and try to ruin somebody else's life. So when we start to become more vibrant light beings, we walk in our true path and start becoming loving and compassionate, then these entities, these dark entities, they can't keep a hold of us. They can't be drawn near to us, so they have to go somewhere else. All right. So another sign that you are under spiritual attack is when you have no connection to the Most High, or if you lose that connection over time with the Most High. So the sixth sign that you are under spiritual attack, you have no positive self-image about yourself. Now, if you have frequent negative self-talks about yourself, if you don't like yourself, if you hate yourself and you don't look at yourself in a positive light, then that's another sign that you are under spiritual attack. So when you are in complete darkness, when you are overshadowed with fear, self-hate, self-guilt, then you start to draw away from who you truly are. So when we become so attached to this flesh, when we become attached to our looks, when we say to ourselves that, we don't look as good as the next person, we start to compare ourselves to other people, and we start to be drowning in our fears, drowning in our hopelessness. We start to drown in our egotistical self. We start to have our egos puffed up. We start to, not be in alignment with our ultimate self, basically. Then we start to lose hope. We can't see the bigger picture in our lives. But when we make that conscious decision, when we make that conscious shift, when we start to become more understanding of who we are, then that's when we start to make that progress. That's when we start to walk in that right path. That's when our eyes start to open for us to get better in this lifetime. All right. So I'll always encourage all of you to change yourself, to have better self-talks about yourself, have a better positive image about yourself. Always have those positive mental images about yourself. Always take the time to better yourself and to develop yourself, grow yourself, to love yourself more. All right. When we become more spiritually in tune, spiritually aware, and not so focused on our outer appearance and our physical looks and things of that nature, we start to change for the better. Because I used to be in that predicament as well. I used to, compare myself to other people, especially back when I was on social media. I was always comparing my looks to other people. I would always have these thoughts and doubts in my mind saying, I'm never going to be like this person, or, just always comparing myself. But then I had to take a step back and, to, ask myself and to say to myself, why am I comparing myself to other people? I am my own person. God has made me my own unique self. I am my own unique self. Why am I comparing myself to other people? We aren't meant to compare ourselves. So I would encourage all of you guys to always just strive to be more positive. Have a more positive outlook on yourself and on life. All right. So another sign that you are under spiritual attack is when you have no confidence in yourself and you start to, talk bad about yourself. You just have a negative self-image about yourself. And the last sign that you're under spiritual attack, you become distracted from reaching your higher self. So there are many distractions in this lifetime, especially in the era of social media. There are a whole bunch of distractions, and these social media platforms, the news, just everything in our outside world, everything is always distracting us. Everywhere we go, everything we touch, everything we look at, everything we interact with, and everything that we encounter is always going to be a distraction. All right, so we need to eliminate our distractions. We need to focus on the task at hand. All right, we need to understand it realized that our lifespans are very short. Our time here is limited on this planet. So we have to do what we're supposed to do in a short period of time, in a short manner of time, because our lifespans are very short and they keep getting shorter. All right, as time goes on, our lifespans get shorter and shorter over time because we've allowed this to happen. We've allowed these things to conquer our minds and to wreak havoc of us and to change ourselves in a negative light. All right, so we need to stay focused at the task at hand. Focus on your mission, whatever your purpose is, whatever your mission is. Focus on your purpose. Focus on your career. Focus on what you have to do on this planet, and to not get distracted so much. All right, I'm not saying to eliminate your free time, your fun time, and things like that. But at the same time, we need balance. Everything is all a balance. This universe is a balance, and we need to have balance between us focusing on the task at hand and focusing on how we can progress in this life and become better individuals instead of being leaping into the herd, being a part of the herd, being a follower. So we need more leaders in this world, not followers. So we need to focus on the goal, focus on the mission to bring heaven to earth, and to focus on how we can serve others, how we can help others, how we can revolutionize the world, how we can change people's lives for the better and make this earth a global, happy, prosperous, golden planet that needs to be. We need to shift from the 3D to the 5D, make this world a better place for us all. All right. So another sign that you are under spiritual attack is when you're not focused on your mission, when you're not focused on your purpose, and you are becoming distracted from reaching your higher self. All right, guys, so let's recap today's video. These are 7 signs that you are under spiritual attack. First sign, increased temptation and luring towards the wrong choices. Second sign, feelings of overwhelming despair, anxiety, and fear. Third sign, physical fatigue / lack of motivation. Fourth sign, wet dreams. Fifth sign, no connection or a loss of a connection with the Most High. Sixth sign, you have no positive self-image about yourself. And seventh sign, you become distracted from reaching your higher self. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Like I said, man, it's spiritual warfare every day, man. Every day, every single second, minute, hour. As time goes on through the rest of your life, there's always going to be spiritual warfare every time in your life. But it's important for us to stay poised, to have that stillness, to have that emptiness, to be a strong individual, to be strong consciously, to be strong physically, because we are able to stand the test of time. Once our heart and our minds are aligned, and we start to become stronger in every which way, in every aspect of our life, we start to become more developed and strong human beings. And these dark entities, these demons, they can't stop us. They can't touch us. All right, so we become part of the Creator, and we start to walk like the Creator, talk like the Creator, think like the Creator, because we all come from the Creator, right? When we start to do that, when we start walking into our divine light and our divine being, none of these dark entities can stop us. The light overshadows the darkness, all right? And I believe that will happen in the time ahead. No one knows when the time will come, but only God, all right? But I know for sure that this darkness that encompasses the world will be no more, all right? So till next time. And always remember, all power resides from within. And always keep the faith, because God in the universe is always working for you. Take care, guys. God bless.